For over a decade, Isabel Dos Santos was celebrated as Africa's richest woman, with her net worth estimated at $2.1 billion by Forbes in 2013. Her success story was frequently highlighted in the media, portraying her as a symbol of African entrepreneurship and a testament to the potential of local talent in the global business arena. Her meteoric rise in the business world was closely intertwined with her familial ties to Angola's political elite. As the eldest daughter of Angola's long-serving president José Eduardo dos Santos, Isabel leveraged her privileged position to build a vast business empire spanning over various industries. However, her success has been tainted by allegations of corruption, nepotism, and financial misconduct. In this video, we'll discuss the journey of Isabel Dos Santos, exploring her early life, business ventures, personal relationships, and the corruption that led to her dramatic fall from grace. Isabel Dos Santos was born on April 20, 1973, in Baku, Azerbaijan. She is the eldest daughter of Angola's long-serving president. Her father led the country from 1979 to 2017, ruling Angola with an iron grip through the People's Movement for the Liberation of Angola. Isabel's mother, Tatiana Kukanova, is of Russian descent and was the president's first wife. After her parents' divorce and Angola's descent into civil war, Isabel moved to London with her mother, where she attended St. Paul's Girls' School. She later graduated with a degree in electrical engineering from King's College in London. After graduating, she worked for 2 years at PwC. When the civil war briefly subsided, she returned to Angola. In 1997, at the age of 24, she opened a restaurant called Miami Beach in Luanda, marking the beginning of her business empire. She then launched a transport business, and her experience in logistics led her to the emerging field of mobile phone technology. In the late 1990s, she was part of a consortium that secured a public tender for Angola's second mobile telecommunications license, leading to the creation of Unitel, which has since grown to become the country's largest mobile phone provider. Her business empire rapidly expanded, owning large parts of Angola's cement, diamond, and banking industry, as well as stakes in a supermarket chain, satellite TV, and a brewery. Isabel's meteoric rise was mirrored by her media presence. International media outlets hailed her as a symbol of African entrepreneurship and success. Profiles in Forbes and features in global news platforms painted her as a savvy businesswoman driving Angola's economic development. Her lavish lifestyle, philanthropic efforts, and high-profile appearances cemented her status as Africa's richest woman, admired and envied in equal measure. At her peak, Forbes estimated her net worth to be $2.2 billion. Despite allegations suggesting that her father's influence contributed to her success, Isabel firmly denied those claims, insisting that her wealth was built through her hard work and business acumen. In 2002, Isabel Dos Santos married Sindika Dokolo, a Congolese art collector and businessman. He is the son of millionaire banker Augustin Dokolo. Sindika was raised in Belgium and France and developed a passion for African art from a young age. He acquired his first pieces at the age of 15 and eventually built the largest collection of African art in the world through his foundation. He also crusaded for the return of African art removed during the colonial era by Western countries. The couple quickly became a media sensation, known for their wealth, high-profile appearances, and Sindika's renowned art collection. Together, they expanded their empire, with Sindika playing a key role in joint ventures that included real estate, luxury goods, and art. Their business extended across 2 continents, with investments in Angola, Portugal, and Cape Verde. Their collaboration on multi-million-dollar deals solidified their image as a cosmopolitan African power couple. Isabel started her businesses in a period where her country experienced an economic boom. Between 2002 and 2008, Angola's oil revenue surged from $3 billion to $70 billion. However, very little of this wealth benefited ordinary Angolans. Despite large loans from China and other countries aimed at upgrading the country's infrastructure, Angola's road and railway systems remained in disrepair and millions of its citizens continued to live in poverty. Meanwhile, Isabel and her husband enjoyed a lavish lifestyle, hosting extravagant parties and living in luxury homes across Europe. They attended important events and mingled with Hollywood elites. They also owned properties in Lisbon, London, and Monte Carlo, as well as a super yacht and a collection of sports cars. Many people admired her business acumen, describing her as a ruthless and sharp manager. However, others were critical of the vast wealth she and her husband amassed, while the majority of Angolans lived in hardship, with two-thirds of the population surviving on less than $2 a day. In 2016, Isabel's father appointed her as the chairperson of Sonangol, Angola's state-owned oil company. This appointment was seen as a move by President José Eduardo to solidify his family's control over Angola's most lucrative industries before his retirement. Under her leadership, Sonangol saw significant expansions and increased revenues. However, this role also provided Isabel with unprecedented access to state funds and contracts. There were allegations of mismanagement and preferential treatment towards companies with political connections. Her involvement in Sonangol became a focal point for accusations of corruption, with claims that she used the company to further her business interests and enrich herself at the expense of the state. In September 2017, Angola's political landscape shifted dramatically when Isabel's father, José Eduardo dos Santos, stepped down from the presidency and João Lourenço assumed office. Lourenço, who is a former ally turned reformer, launched a comprehensive anti-corruption campaign. President Lourenço's crackdown on corruption was relentless and targeted the Dos Santos family's vast network. Isabel became a prime target for investigations into corruption and financial misconduct. The Angolan government accused her of causing $1 billion in losses to the country through corrupt schemes. Isabel's husband, Sindika Dokolo, also faced investigations into his businesses. Investigations revealed that Sindika's art dealings and diamond investments were entangled with Isabel's business operations. Allegations suggested that they leveraged their political connections to acquire valuable stakes in Angola's lucrative diamond industry at below market prices. Sindika's art dealings were also scrutinized, with allegations that he had laundered money through the art market. Isabel wasn't the only member of her family facing legal and political challenges. Her half-sister, Velvicha Shizé dos Santos, who was a prominent figure in the Angolan media and controlled one of the country's top multimedia and advertising agencies, was ousted from her role as a member of parliament after fleeing to the UK, claiming harassment by the Angolan Secret Service. Her half-brother, José Filomeno dos Santos, was on trial for corruption, accused of embezzling $1.5 billion from Angola's sovereign wealth fund, which he managed from 2013 to 2017. José was fired from his post in 2017 by President Lourenço and later detained. He denied the charges and faced a potential 12-year prison sentence if convicted. At the time, their father, former President José Eduardo dos Santos, was gravely ill and receiving treatment in exile in Barcelona. Isabel denied any wrongdoing, calling the accusations politically motivated lies and fake news. However, her problems were about to get worse. In January 2020, the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, with help from the Platform to Protect Whistleblowers in Africa, released over 700,000 documents detailing how Isabel and her husband had siphoned hundreds of millions of dollars from Angola's state companies. They allegedly exploited their political connections and amassed a vast fortune through questionable financial practices. The report revealed a complex web of over 400 companies and subsidiaries across 41 countries, many in offshore tax havens, which were used to siphon public funds from Angola's government and particularly from the state oil company Sonangol. The leaked documents, famously referred to as the Luanda Leaks, showed how they benefited from lucrative contracts, insider deals, and inflated fees for services, often without competition or transparency. The couple was accused of using these networks to launder money, evade taxes, and divert state resources into their personal accounts. The ICIJ estimated that Isabel had stashed at least $2.1 billion in bank accounts and assets in the United States, Asia, Portugal, and other European countries. Angolan authorities charged Isabel Dos Santos with 12 crimes, accusing her of causing state losses of approximately $219 million during her time as the head of Sonangol between 2016 and 2017. The 46-page indictment accuses her of using offshore companies, fraudulent invoices, forged documents, and unjust salary increases to enrich herself and her associates. The charges included money laundering, embezzlement, and tax fraud. Prosecutors allege that Isabel, along with her associates, devised a plan to defraud the Angolan state with the aid of professionals such as accountants, lawyers, and consultants in Portugal and Malta. The indictment also alleges that her network of shell companies secured no-bid contracts despite lacking experience in the oil sector. PwC and Boston Consulting Group played a significant role in her business empire, allegedly profiting from contracts and providing strategies for tax avoidance. PwC's Luanda and Lisbon offices are accused of making millions from auditing and consulting services for Isabel's shell companies. Isabel also allegedly increased her own salary to $50,448 per month, far exceeding her predecessors, under the pretext of attracting top talent. The indictment charges her and her associates with crimes such as fraud, money laundering, and influence peddling. These actions are said to have cost the Angolan state millions. Following these charges, Isabel's assets were frozen in Portugal, the US, and London, where she lost a legal battle to unfreeze $733 million worth of assets. The writing was on the wall for Isabel, and her business empire was crumbling. In the midst of the scandal, Nuno Ribeiro da Cunha, a Portuguese banker and Isabel's financial advisor, was found dead in January 2020. Da Cunha had been responsible for managing Isabel's extensive financial portfolio in Portugal, overseeing significant investments and transactions that were later scrutinized for irregularities. His death was officially reported as a suicide. The timing of his death, coinciding with the release of the Luanda Leaks, fueled speculation about potential foul play. However, no conclusive evidence emerged to support these claims. In November 2022, Interpol issued an arrest warrant for Isabel Dos Santos and asked governments around the world to find and provincially arrest her. By then, she and her husband had relocated to Dubai, which does not have an extradition treaty with Angola, making her difficult to apprehend. Confidential land records connect Isabel and her mother to multiple waterfront properties in the UAE. While in Dubai, Isabel continued to deny all allegations of wrongdoing while managing what was left of her business empire. In October 2020, tragedy struck the Dos Santos family when Isabel's husband, 48-year-old Sindika Dokolo, died in a diving accident in Dubai. His death fueled further rumors of foul play, but authorities declared his death accidental. His death marked a turning point for Isabel, both personally and legally. With her husband gone, she lost a key ally in managing their businesses, and she was left to face the ongoing legal battles alone. On 14 August 2020, the Supreme Court of Angola sentenced Isabel's brother, José Filomeno dos Santos, to 5 years in prison for fraud, money laundering, trading in influence, falsification, and criminal association. On April 4, 2024, the Constitutional Court overturned the Supreme Court decision, which it deemed unconstitutional, as certain elements provided by its defense were not taken into account by the judges. Former President José Eduardo Dos Santos died on 8 July 2022 at a hospital in Barcelona after suffering cardiac arrest. He was 79 years old. He was accorded a state funeral on 28 August 2022 in the Angolan capital of Luanda, with several African leaders and Portugal's president in attendance. However, Isabel did not attend the funeral. As of the time of this recording, Isabel is still facing mounting legal and criminal battles. Her assets remain frozen, and she was sued by Angolan telecommunications operator Unitel over loans made while she was on the board of directors to a company she controlled in the Netherlands. The company is reportedly seeking damages of $733 million arising from decisions she made while in the role. In August 2024, 4 Angolan advocacy groups called on Portuguese and Angolan judicial authorities to explain why assets seized in Portugal from Isabel have not yet been returned to Angola. Although there's an arrest warrant out for her, Isabel claims that she is not in hiding and regularly posts about her lavish lifestyle in Dubai on social media. Isabel's rise and fall serves as a cautionary tale of the intertwining of business and political power. Her business empire, once sprawling across multiple sectors, is now mostly dismantled or under investigation, and her status as Africa's richest woman has been overshadowed by a legacy of greed, corruption, and scandal. She is now a fugitive, accused of draining her country's resources for personal gain. The collapse of her empire has far-reaching consequences not only for Angola but also for the international financial system as countries grapple with the fallout of her alleged corrupt practices. Thank you so much for listening and watching until the end. As always, I would like to know your thoughts on this case, so feel free to comment. I'd also like to thank all 5,679 of you for subscribing and interacting with my channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. My name is Faith Njoroge, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!